It shouldn't take someone to die to say enough is enough. But in this, another horror year for domestic violence, change is happening. Serious domestic violence offenders must, from today, wear ankle bracelets in New South Wales if they're granted bail. But is peace of mind enough? Domestic violence survivor and advocate Kim OReilly joins me now. Kim, this change is a long time coming, but you're a survivor of horrendous domestic violence. If your attacker had been made to wear an ankle monitor while on bail, would that have made you feel more safe?
Absolutely. It definitely gives a small amount of comfort and a sense of security, but unfortunately it's not the complete answer. Is it a right step in the right direction? For sure, but we're a long way off finding a prevention for this.
And we need to make sure that these things can be enforced too. I know a lot of people say that apprehended violence orders are often not worth the paper they're written on. Police resources are stretched. Do you think they have enough resources to be able to get there quickly if people breach these ankle bracelets?
It is definitely a concern, and it definitely makes people think, do they have faith in our first responders to be able to attend these situations with an appropriate amount of time? It is a concern, and I hope that we've thought of all those measures to be able to make sure that it is implemented and it's implemented to well execution, because it's between someone's life and, you know, someone not surviving.
Yeah. Speed is of the essence in these situations. And this change is happening in New South Wales. It's following the lead of South Australia and WA, but not in other parts of the country, including where you are in Victoria. Surely this has got to be nationwide.
You would think that it's nationwide. It's a nationwide issue, and this issue hasn't come up in the last couple of years. This has been going since the start of time for us, and it's been getting progressively worse over the last couple of years. You would think that it would be released nationally, which would be the ideal situation, but unfortunately Victoria especially is definitely slow and progressing slowly, but we definitely need some answers, and we need them now.
And what do you say to the Victorian government when they ruled out ankle monitors for serious DV offenders early this year, claiming that it wouldn't work?
Well, I'd love them to come and speak to one of us victims, and we'd be able to help them, you know, come up with a different solution. But it definitely is for peace of mind and give some sort of security rather than just a piece of paper on an intervention order. It is definitely the next step. You know, we're a long way off, as I said, but it's definitely a progression that's happening, and I think Victoria needs to pick up their feet.
Absolutely. Now, the ankle bracelets are to be worn by those charged with serious domestic violence offences. It begs the question, should they even be out in the first place?
100%. Our bail laws should not even exist. If you're doing the wrong thing and you're being violent towards somebody, why are you allowed to look at a bail law and say, hey, I'm allowed to do bail, but yeah, I was violent towards someone and I've injured them for the rest of their life, giving them trauma? I don't understand how a bail law is allowed for perpetrators that are violent. It just shouldn't be happening, and this is a part of the problem.
It is good to see that the bail laws in New South Wales at least are getting tougher though, a change that should have happened again a long time ago. But what more can be done to stop domestic violence from happening in the first place?
It starts with our education at home with our parents. Are we pulling up our children on the behaviour that's acceptable and not acceptable? In school, are we educating teenagers on their first intimate relationships, what to put up with and what not is acceptable again? And with us as a community, it's up to us to call out the bad behaviour. I think the system is the part that comes after something has already happened. It's up to us to be able to call it out, educate and bring awareness to the subject. And I think having open and honest conversations, we can't be afraid of this topic just because it scares you. It could happen, and it could be a matter of life and death for someone that you may know.
But we have been having a lot of education campaigns, the resources have been increasing in this space, and yet again and again lives are lost. What are we doing wrong?
We're not moving fast enough, that's number one. There's 65 women that have been killed so far this year. You know, we need to move faster. We can't just have conversations around a table in a meeting over and over again and releasing something. We need action. We can't just have words. There's definitely some sort of action that needs to be followed. We need to have a prevention measure. Prevention is better than the cure, and we need to start there. We can't worry about funding that's going to happen after the fact. We need to stop the actual act from happening in the first place.
Because the pain and the trauma that stays with survivors like yourself, that's lifelong.
Absolutely. I mean, all we're asking is a government to do their job and what they get paid so highly to do, and that's to help us. That's all we're asking is for help.
And these alleged perpetrators will be tracked while that court process plays out. But as you've experienced, the fear doesn't go away once they are locked up. Your ex served less than 4 of his 6-year sentence before he was then released on parole. He's been on the streets for over 18 months now. Do you feel protected, Kim?
Not at all. I feel completely let down. We were given a sentence of 6 years, and then, less than 4 is what he actually had to do, and he's been out free doing what he likes, and I'm still suffering the cause and effect of it. I think our system is extremely wrong and is letting us down time and time again, and I don't think a lot of victims, no matter what process they go through in court, feel safe at all.
Well, Kim, you are just a strong woman. You're an inspiration to so many survivors, and we wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And if you or someone you know is experiencing sexual abuse or family violence, there is help. Call 1800 RESPECT. That's 1800 737 732.